the perception back home about barbers is totally wrong. In England, we cherish barbers. Not even in England, when you go to the States, in America,
Developed countries.
well-developed countries, we have barbers being recognized as, big celebrities, in big cars, big mansions and all that. The money aspect, I would say, come and experience it, and come with passion, come with a talent, come with patience, and the money will start coming. It will flow when you put in all these disciplines.
To the channel, Master Richard.
Thank you, my boss.
Emotional.
Right now,
Nice one, nice one, nice one. All right, man, lovely. As I told you, I'm having one of the famous barber in Surrey. Those who don't know Surrey, it's one of the counties in UK. Yeah, I call him Master Richard. We try, not the try. As you can see. So, Master Richard, how did it all started being a barber?
Thank you, my brother, for having me today. In fact, I know you're always busy, but for making such a time to have me in your studio, it's something I also do cherish. And let me just start by saying many people know me to be, OJ as my name, but
OJ.
OJ as my brand name. But my real name is Richard Upon Wadie. Yeah. Back home, I wasn't a barber. Trust me. Nobody could even identify me as a barber anyway in Ghana. And I think it was just once or twice on campus, KNUST, when I managed to try my hands on cutting my friend's hair, and it was just even occasional. I used to go or attend barbershops to cut my own hair, but starting over here, it was just I should say a coincidence.
Wow, wow. Let's get it clear. So that means you were a graduate of Kane University.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Wow. Guys, Kane University is one of I'll say, the biggest university in Ghana. So in Ghana, we have Legon, we have Kane University, you have Winneba and hotels. Cape Coast. Yeah, Kane University is the best three. Yeah, Kane University should be one of them. So what did you study in school?
Actually, I did Bachelor of Science in Textiles and Technology.
Oh, wow.
And it was actually under the department by name Industrial Arts Department.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Way back in 2005, that is when I graduated.
That's where you get a new OG from. So, being a barber in the UK, have you regretted?
Not at all. And in fact, I do cherish and pride myself to be a barber.
Wow.
Honestly speaking, I think the usual perception back home about barbers is totally wrong. When you think about being in this trade in England, and I must say I am always lucky to be a barber in England. Wow. Based on my experience and how it's gotten me to this far. I would always mention as one of the best trades or best jobs, to find yourself in if you are capable of, or maybe a little talented in going into barbering, you have to just take up that decision and do it.
Master Richard, so what do you like of being a barber, and should it even be your main job or your part time?
Thank you, my brother. I think it's a very nice question. Trust me to say that it's a job I would always encourage people who are willing to do it to go for it. First of all, it's a job I have a passion for, and not only passion for, it gives me the income I need to be able to manage my monthly, outgoings. I'm also able to balance the job with my family commitments. But most importantly, being a barber, the connections that you do get or you make with different people, across board is what also brings me joy. You see, you don't only end up, cutting ordinary people. you end up cutting, rich people, um, very important people in the communities, doctors, nurses, engineers, MPs. And I must say, I've, through this job, been able to meet a lot of, very important figures in my life. Um, the one that it brings me, I've mentioned that it's something that I do always wouldn't like to, avoid um, appreciating. And I love that. The other thing that also, brings my mind to the reason why this job would always have to be number one job for people who are willing to go into it is that, not only does it give you the income I'm talking about, but you see, when you are able to, after giving someone a very nice haircut, realize that the person is happy and appreciate how far you've transformed them, it gives you that self happiness. Okay,
That's
and
total transformation.
exactly.
Second creator.
Thank you. And you are able to also, understand the fact that God has given you that unique talent, okay, in life. And there's one most important thing I think, if anybody does not know at all, barbers should also cherish themselves with, and it has to do with the fact that unless your hands are cut off or unless you are dead, you are never going to be jobless.
Wow.
Being a barber.
Let's go into detail. So just consider, I'll use Accra as an example.
Okay.
Even to get a shop, pay your monthly rent, it's not that easy. More to think of to get a shop here in London, Surrey, one of the hottest place in England. Is it that cost effective to set up a barbering shop? Considering the taxation, timing, is it that cost effective?
I would say yes. I mean, it's a very lucrative job. Let me say that to begin with, because you mentioned Accra, for instance. I must say the process that you would have to go through to acquire a place or a shop might be different from how we do acquire ours in England. It's a procedure. You would first need to register your business. You also have to, try and apply to the council. After maybe having set up, having set your eyes on a shop that you want to buy, or like go on maybe on a lease, contract or whatever. But most important thing is, I would say, is very, very important and beneficial as a barber if you are able to acquire your own shop. Um, you know, Thinking about taxations and other things, you know what? If you are not in it, then you may begin to, wonder how we manage our jobs. But we are in the business, we understand how it goes. But I can tell you that the benefits, are to measure a number of, bad perceptions out there.
So, considering you be an employer and employee, what is the difference? Have you? Because I know, as you said, you've been working for the NHS for some time now, and you working for yourself too now. Is there any difference?
There is a major difference. In fact, so we're talking about being self-employed and also, being employed, by a company. Yeah. So I mean, as a self-employed, barber, for instance, I'm always able to, manage my business very well. I'm always able to balance that with my family commitments as well. You see, I'm not restricted to, um, you know, particular timings. Like if I'm employed or if I'm to work for my employer, that's 8 to 4 o'clock or 5 to 9, or sorry, 9 to 5, and those kind of hours is not what I use. I'm always ready and prepared to, decide on what time I have to start work, what time I have to finish work. As a family man, I'm also able to find some times in between and, honor invitations to school meetings, other things, other commitments. I'm always able to do that. But if you are talking about being employed by, someone else, you always have to either book annual leaves, book some holidays, or sort of begin to be bound by the timings or the actual restrictions of when to start work and when to finish work. Even sometimes you would also not be able to your life. In fact, um, I must say, being self-employed, you've got the freedom to be able to, sort your own affairs.
I think yeah, I
Yes,
subscribe to this idea. To be honest, myself, while I work, you can't use phone. Then I
that's the
work
thing.
12.5 hours. So imagine you going to work 12.5 hours, not contacting any of your family members, not contacting any of your friends here. But you working for yourself, I think it's very flexible. I think
Yes, and the flexibility part of it is what it becomes more important in a way that you are able to always balance a lot of things, a lot of commitments that you have. You may have a lot of engagements. Being a human being, or living in a family, or being a family man, you may have invitations to go to parties, funerals, visiting friends, going to family meetings, or kids or children, sorry, school meetings, or parents teachers meetings, and all that. If you are working for someone, you would then need to always apply for some holidays
yeah.
or apply for some leaves to be able to do all that. And in this country, even allowing all these leaves or leave all these holidays to do or to manage these commitments, or manage or plan these engagements, I think sometimes it's not even the best way, because sometimes as a Ghanaian, you also need those times to travel to Ghana. But as a self-employed person, I'm always having that flexibility to do most of the things that I like. Don't also forget about of managing your money, because if you are a self-employed, and as a barber, let me just use that, you always have money on you. You don't always have to think about waiting until the month is ended to get paid. Okay, you always see money, you always see cash. And what people don't understand is that, you see, you may be getting any amount of money that you get from being employed, but trust me, sometimes you may not even see the money on time.
Yeah, yeah.
And living in England, for instance, there are so many commitments, or there are so many times that you may be called, from back home. People are always looking for, help, or you are also willing to either, um, manage your projects or whatever. People are always, I mean, you always need to make sure that there's money on you to be able to, spend. And you don't always have to wait till the month is ended.
Yeah, Master, I don't know, maybe you might not be ready to talk about this. We've been talking about the cash, 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 cash. Let's dig let's dig into it. So I'm being told that the annual salary of a barber is about 40,000 pounds a year. I
Um,
don't know, you don't have to go into details of it, but
yeah, sure. I
is it
mean,
true?
I wouldn't go into details. Trust me. And I did mention in one of the questions that if you are in the business, you will understand what we are doing. But I mean, believe me or not, the perception back home about barbers is totally wrong. In England, we cherish barbers. Not even in England, when you go to the States, in
In
America,
developed countries.
well-developed countries, we have barbers being recognized as, big celebrities, in
Yeah.
big cars, big mansions and all that. Um, the money aspect, I would say, come and experience it, and come with passion, come with a talent, come with patience, and the money will start coming. It will flow when you put in all these disciplines.
Come
Yes,
with passion, come with talent, come with patience, and
and
come with what
discipline,
else?
discipline.
Discipline. Wow. Master Richard. Yeah, so let's talk about it. So young ladies, young guys, those are back home. They want to go to any of these developed countries such as UK, Canada, Australia, United States. Will you advise them to learn handy job, not alone barbering? a more profoti, any all those things. More palm beer. You advise these young guys back home, say they should learn this thing instead of coming to do care job all the time.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays most people come into the country with working visas, which is quite good. And I mean, the fact that they come in, they already have jobs to start with. Some of us did not have it in that same circumstances. Um, I mean, let me just go back to what actually led me into becoming a barber. As I mentioned earlier on, um, it was by coincidence, and I lost my job at a very certain time when I was in the UK. And the fact that waiting and researching or going online to look for jobs, I was, usually going to sit at my brother's friend's barber shop,
Oh,
just to, socialize with them and all that. And, by and by, fell in love with, how nice they are, the environment, the good jobs they were doing, and, also witnessing how good the barbers were, priding themselves in that trade. And, I've never regretted being a barber. As I mentioned, unless you don't have these hands, okay, but when you've got the hands with the talent, you're always going to make it. So the advice for those who don't have, jobs, or who are back home and willing to travel to England or to the UK, you see, put that wrong perception away about barbers or about handy jobs. If you are electrician, if you are, a car mechanic, barber, hairdresser, keep on doing it and do it well. Because when you come here, even when you are employed by any other person, doing that as a side job will also add up to something for you. To be honest with you, there are many people in the country now who have traveled from Ghana or from Africa and are currently struggling to find something to do.
so
If they were having any handy job, I'll tell you that they would at least be having some £10, £20, or even £100 a week, okay, to rely on. But without these handy jobs, if you come and always expecting somebody to employ you, it takes time. Okay. So my advice is that go for it if you are, you have that. Even if you don't have that, learn something. Learn how to, braid hair. Learn how to cut hair if you are a gentleman. Never think about whether you are a professor, you are a university graduate, or you are, you have acquired any best or, the highest certificate in life. Trust me, I know accountants, I know lawyers who have barbering as their side jobs in England. And I also know most important people who do, we do see or cut their hair, who do cherish us as, part of their daily lives because we make them look good. Okay. I always have money on me because of barbering. And I can say, I don't know, but probably because of my gift or my talent as a barber, I don't think I'm going to go hungry.
sure,
So
sure.
when you come to England and you are all aware that in this country life is not that easy, if you are able to, find yourself in barbering trade, you have to count yourself lucky. Go for it. Never lose hope, and never think about what somebody else was thinking about you or what someone is thinking about the job you're going to do. Go for it. It's a very good advice for you.
Wow, what a lovely advice,
Yeah.
Mr. Richard. Do you know one of the mistakes I've made in life? One of my best friend used to cut hair, and I didn't learn this job, but
Ah,
I was with him every day, basically every day, going to houses to cut hair, but I never learned this job. Trust me, I'm going to learn this job.
you see,
You're
even
gonna
if you,
teach me how to do
I,
this
I
job,
will
Mr.
teach you.
Richard. Yeah.
Even if it's not something that you want to use as your main job or even your side job, in life, you may have kids, you may have boys.
Definitely.
Okay. I mentioned I wasn't going to go into, details about, price and all that. But An average haircut price for kids is £12. Okay, for adults, £15. Maximum £26. Some people are even charging £38. Okay, if you do have 10 customers, 10 customers are even many. Let's say 5 customers of adults haircut for a day. And you do that for 4 days, not even 5 days. After the 7 days, just do 4 days. Take the 3 days as your rest days. Calculate that and add it up how much you get in a month.
Well,
okay. And I must say most barbers do not even get 5 customers or 10 customers a day.
Do you know something? I don't want to convert into Ghana cedis.
Well, you must start thinking about that as well. So you see, somebody who is self-employed, talking about what I'm saying now, comparing to somebody who is employed by any other job or by any other employer. You see, £85. The average minimum wage is I think around is £11 or £12.
Yeah.
Okay. If you work an hour working for somebody and get £11 an hour, and a barber is able to use an hour to cut 2 average haircuts, adult average haircuts, you are earning involved. Yes, you are earning 15 to £11 an hour. The barber is cutting 2 persons hair and earning £30 an hour. And it's not even £30 an hour for all of them. Some may be more. Okay, you may even just go to the shop and do just 5 customers. If you do charge £25 or £27 a month, sorry, per haircut, how much are we talking about? So it's not a job, to avoid if you are able to do it or if you are in it. And I'm always prepared to share my life with anybody who is willing to listen.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
As I said, unless you don't or you are not in the trade. Or if you are in the trade, you will understand what I'm talking about. People are making big investments, out of their handy jobs, whilst others are also spending a lot of time on their 9 to 5 jobs, 8 to 4 jobs, night jobs, and all that. Aside all these, you also cherish the fact that you have the flexibility to manage your family commitments, your other engagements, and also able to, build that community that will bring you, intercontinental connections in life. Wouldn't you like this?
I won't let you go without you educating us how we can care for our hair. Is there any special way to care for our hair?
Of course, yeah. To be honest with you, life in the UK is not that simple. It's always busy in everyone's life. You wake up in the morning, what you're thinking about is to start on time, or how to quickly get to the bus stop and maybe get to your bus, or train station and get your trains. So people are most at times not particular about self-care. And when you talk about self-care, the first thing that sometimes if you are looking into the mirror, you see is not just your face. You see your face and you start thinking about your hair. So importantly, then you have to start thinking about how to make sure your hair is always looking good. Most of our women are, more particular about their hair, but when it comes to the men, we usually have a little, problems with, how to give enough time to our hair. But it's very, very important. The other unfortunate thing in this country is that, we've got very wintry, seasons. We have very dry, atmosphere, and for that matter, our hair and our skin is always dry. And that's the reason why most people do wear, the stuffings themselves to keep themselves warm. But when it comes to the hair is always exposed to the weather.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's exposed to that dry weather means that your hair is always going to look dry. So what I will mention to start is always to make sure that your hair is moisturized. If you have any good hair moisturizing cream, use it for your hair. Comb your hair all the time. If you are somebody who doesn't comb the hair, but maybe just brush it, keep on brushing it. But it's also advisable to make sure that when the hair is long, cut it lower. Cut it lower because the moment you expose your hair to this dry weather, it begins to become brittle and breaks down. And by the time you begin to, or you start thinking about going to barber shops, you know, it may be too late for the barber to, start addressing some of these issues.
Thank you, Master Richard. So I want to come to your shop. I want to come to wherever you are. Take me through the booking process. Do I have to book or come in anytime? And where exactly is your shop located?
Yeah, thank you. So first of all, I just mentioned about my easiest contact before I come to the location of the shop. You can quickly go to Instagram and then find me by name OJ underscore the barber. You'll be able to see my jobs there or my works there. Through there, you can contact me. I'm very quick in responding to messages on social media. You can also quickly go to, I'll leave my number as well. And then you can also go to my Facebook and also with us by the same name, OJ the Barber, also message me. But if you're looking for where you can find me for your finest haircut, and I must say your finest haircut, you would need to look for number 8 Linkfield Road in Red Hill, RH1 1BB, or Romeo Hotel 1 Bravo Bravo. Just come into the shop and ask for OJ and you'll see me.
Thank you, Master Richard. Thanks very much
Thank you, my
for
brother.
making time for us. We appreciate it.